Welcome back to the channel. If you guys enjoy cheap mods for your Foxbody Mustang, then you're gonna wanna stick around for this video to the end, as I'm gonna show you probably one of the best mods that you can do for your Foxbody for your money. Let me take you back a couple days where we took a stroll through the junkyard to get one of these very mods that I'm talking about today. It's Saturday, it's in Ohio, it's like 30 degrees outside. We're back at it again, but today we're gonna be pulling some parts that we showed you on this video the other day. I just couldn't let this stuff rot. So stick around, we'll get started. All right, so what we're here to do today is to get these convertible. It's a 95 Mustang. We're gonna show you, I'm gonna show you how to extract these. This is actually gonna be a pretty easy extraction for the most part, because it looks like somebody had already been messing with this to begin with. Try to break some of this stuff loose. As you can see, some of the tools I got today. Naturally, I got my big box here, and I got got some chain, just about every possible part to extract these. And this is like the #1 safety thing right here when you're working on anything into the front suspension. Put a damn chain on it. It's very simple. All you're trying to do is keep the spring from coming out and taking your damn head off. So very important that if you extract anything, especially spindles, that you're careful about it. As you can see, I got the chain nice wrapped here. That way when this pops, I'll be able, it'll catch and it won't be an issue. So I'm only going to show you one side per se. I'm going to just show you how to take this off. I don't necessarily need to take the caliper off, but I do have to take the bracket out because I'm going to need this back at the shop. You know, I know these are kind of rusted in or whatever. So this will be the first thing I do, is I'm going to go ahead and pop this tie rod end off. All right, so the second thing I'm going to actually do is I'm actually going to get in here on the ball joint, which looks like it's new, but look at this thing. Junk. But we're gonna try to get a wrench in here and try to get this loose. Like I said, it looks like it's new. It wasn't in there very long, so we're gonna go ahead and try to get that off because that's where we're gonna go ahead and pop it for the most part. We'll try to loosen these up too, I think. So legitimately, all it is the tie rod end, the ball joint, and these two along with the bracket, and this whole, you get this thing popped off and it just comes right off all as one assembly. So what we decided to do is, these were actually in the way of the ball joint, so we're going to go ahead and get these off and pop it loose. So probably need to put a wrench on the back side, which should be like a 7/8 or 5/16. So we'll get these two off, and I've already got my chain in here, so it shouldn't be an issue. And once this pops down, then I can get to the ball joint really easy and pop it right back out. So we'll figure it out. That's what we do, right? So that was a little bit harder than I thought it was going to be, so I should be able to just get in here with my 15/16 now. You know what I mean? All right, so I pretty much think we got this defeated over here. I had to put a crowbar underneath of it, and I just lightly tapped on this ball joint. If you're trying to save your ball joint, you're going to want to put a, put the castle nut back on or whatever, because you see how it mushrooms it from hitting it. So if you're actually trying to save your ball joints, you don't want to be hitting on the top of it unless you got, like I said, the nut for it. So I got to get this bracket because I want to keep this bracket with this hose. So it looks like it's not terrible, but at that point you could really change that stuff if you really wanted to, you know what I mean? So we're just going to get this bracket off, and maybe we might, I didn't see anybody down there messing with the 40 heads at the end of the row, if you guys remember the video. We might tackle some 40 heads, I don't know. So real quick, there's a little clip here. It'll pop this off. That makes this line like loose. I guess I could just take this line off if I wanted to. I might just try to line wrench it real quick. But you take this clip off and get behind here, and there's like one bolt. I think it's like 10 millimeter or something. So shouldn't be that bad. You can see I got my the clip coming out pretty easy for the most part. It releases the line, which pretty much makes the spindle. That's what you want. The whole thing, caliper bracket and all. Pretty easy. I mean, we're not going to save the rotor. All we really kind of want is the hard parts, which is the bracket and the spindle itself, because you can actually buy the hubs too pretty relatively cheap. So I'm gonna grab this, you want to grab this bracket while you're at it, and this clippy, and that'll actually fit right into your Foxbody swap. Switch over to the other side, and remember, safety first, guys. Chain. And I hope you guys enjoy this video so far. Just real quick, how to take a spindle off a Junkyard SN95. Tools I used for the most part. Like I said, we'll go through a time lapse on the other one. You know, you got to have the wrench for the castle nut, wrench and socket for the strut, tie rod end, wrench and socket, a couple crowbars, line wrench, 10 mil. So I'll go ahead and turn the wheel and we will switch sides. This side might be a little bit more difficult considering it looks like these are pretty much rusted in, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully we get pretty lucky. This is one of the best practices you can do when you're trying to take these ball joints and these tie rod ends out. I mean, if you're actually trying to save the castle nut, you're gonna want to put it on just about right there. Everybody does a little bit different. I think I got pretty lucky considering the fact that I think somebody had changed the ball joint recently, so these weren't super torqued and all rotted out or whatever. So just got to get these two off and then pop the ball joint, and I have the other set. So pretty cool, huh? So you see how that chain caught this. It's all about safety, guys. That stuff I can't tell you enough. Pretty much all I got to do now is just get this last bolt here. Shouldn't be too bad because it's exposed and it's new. So, all right, boys, got it. Hell yeah, 94, 95 spindles. Not too bad. I was a little bit worried about this side, but looked like somebody had already been in there a little bit. So we'll go down and check out the GT40P heads, and maybe I might tinker with them. All right, just like that, we decided to get the P heads off. It took me a couple hours. I had a couple bolts to deal with, but that's Pickin, bros. All right, guys, so that's about all I got for you for the video. We actually didn't end up doing any footage with the GT40 heads, but we still ended up picking them out of the Mountaineer that they were in. Now, as far as extracting those from a Mountaineer or an Explorer, that's not really something that I want to do on film because it takes like 3 hours and that video would take forever. But probably one of your best mods right there, sitting there on the floor right here is your GT40P heads or 3-bar iron heads, your SN95 spindles and caliper brackets and calipers, and of course your GT40 Explorer intake, and even the injectors right here as well. You know, these are direct replacement for the Foxbody injectors and have a 4 spray pattern versus the old fatty injectors that we have in our Foxbodies. I also want to show you the mod that you could actually upgrade your SN95 spindles like you have right here, because this is what they would look like if you took them off and you cleaned them and polished them or whatever. Brembo actually makes a front caliper that this would fit on with a little bit of modifications, or the kit that's directly made for that spindle. And you could mount these 4-piston big Brembo brakes and this rotor as an option to upgrade the SN95 spindles. So will the SN95 spindles work with the rotors and the calipers on there? Absolutely. Great stopping power, no issues. You could actually upgrade them to PBR and Cobra brakes. There's a lot of things you could actually do with those set of spindles, But the biggest thing and what makes it the best budget mod, in my opinion, is it gives you wheel choices and it gives you brake options on your Foxbody Mustang, which you start going faster in your Foxbody Mustang and you start having, you know, a little bit of issue braking. And again, your wheel selection is pretty limited. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. That's all I'm going to talk about today. We'll talk about other budget mods like this on the channel, including but not limited to the 387 stroker that we're building over here in the corner. So guys, I appreciate you watching the video. If you're interested in giving back to the channel, check out that join button below. Check out the merch shop that we got going on. Outside of that, guys, I just appreciate you watching the video. I will see you soon in the next one. Thanks.